My name is Tanya Curry, and this is this week's Acumen Media report. It's entitled 2021's Epilogue, Auld Lang Syne. I'm back, ready to wrap up what you missed in the past few weeks. Like you, I haven't watched the news for 3 weeks except for those stories that smacked me in the face. But I have a clever machine that allows me to go back in time and see what the big stories were and what I missed out on. Join me as we scratch the surface of the news media you endured while I was gone. 2021 would just not die. It was like that cockroach you jump on and empty a can of doom over that was still kicking 2 days later. It was a mess. Even my personal journey was a horror show. Christmas Day is one I'd rather forget, as my mom was in hospital and I was in a hotel without food like Oliver Twist, but my story wasn't nearly as sad as 2021's epilogue. 2021 took the arch. I was gutted. Look, the man was 90 and we'd be selfish to ask him to live forever, but I am selfish. I'm selfish because I didn't want the glory of the past freedom fighters and stalwarts to end. I'm selfish in that I wanted those men and women back today. I want people who take action with the greater good in mind. The last of the brave. Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, thank you for your laugh that we will never forget, for the wise words we now commit to memoirs, for the battle you fought all your life for good. How can we ever thank you for your service, the Arch? We made a pretty good attempt, you'll be happy to know. South Africa followed with the most magnificent tributes. We painted the country purple. Lights turned Table Mountain purple and other big key landscapes were filled with the legend. 10 days of mourning followed where for the most part we celebrated his life and we reminisced about our sacred past. We lamented though in our memories that these were days gone by. Auld Lang Syne. That was the 26th of December. Surely 21 was done. Nope, not even close. 21 took Betty White. Look, if Mick Jagger goes, I'm out. But Betty, really? We truly believed she was going to live forever. Even millennials love Betty White. It was in her death we learned more about the strong and incredibly funny woman, a freedom fighter in her own right, a person who acted with good intention in all she did, a woman of grace and bravery. We lost another treasure. Thank you for being a friend. Rest in peace, Betty White. Finally, the new year broke. We didn't make the fanfare we normally do. We're suffering from PTSD, see? Too scared to relive an event in case it sets off a trigger. And even though we tread quietly, there it was, Parliament burning. I must admit I didn't even care that much until this week while I was researching to write this report today. Seriously? Does the media and government expect us to believe that some homeless guy broke into Parliament and set it alight? So many questions. Where was the security at one of South Africa's most impenetrable buildings? Where was ADT or whoever the armed response was? Surely there will be camera footage. Nope, that wasn't working either. They were turned off. I kid you not. When the fire went off, surely those sprinkler thingies went off. They do have them, but they were turned off too. What? Here's the biggest head turner. Our homeless guy was carrying explosives. Where did he score those from? Was it a supply for his New Year's Eve fireworks party, perhaps? Oh, come on. Are we meant to buy this drivel? Listen, if we can resolve one thing this new year, let it be this. No more fairy tales. We will not be played. I'm not done though, and it gets better. He had a bunch of papers with him too, apart from some laptops and silver, because paper would, I don't know, make a nice fire outside for him to keep warm. The useless hawks who haven't picked up one of Zondo Commission's perjury cases, and there are hundreds of them, finds this guy in seconds and hands him to the cops before the fire is out. How do they even know he did it? There were no cameras, no security, and wait until you hear his name and then tell me this is not some kind of bad script. Zandile Christmas Mafe. And to add the shining star on top, rumor has it that Dali and Porfu will be defending him. Listen, please free Zandile and give him a home, not a bribe to stand for crimes he didn't commit, hiding in plain sight. Oh heavens, you see, I'm grumpy again. I was going to tie this report to something cheerful like jingle bells, but no. You had to chuck absolute nonsense in my face, and what am I supposed to do? Let it slide? I'm still not done with this firecracker of a story. The firefighters and emergency response worked over 24 hours flat without a bottle of water from the city of Cape Town. Nice, guys. Nice. You know who did water and feed our heroes? Us. We did it. And when we showed up the city's poor performance, they quickly arrived with an energy bar and 500 mils of water bottles. Please leave us alone. I took to Twitter for confirmation because to me and to many of you, this is just another insurrection. I mean, last year, I took you through the insurrection that actually started at Charlotte Maxeke Hospital and did not abate, but grew throughout 2021. Why should it stop now? So here I am on Twitter, and who do I find but good old Duduzile Zuma with her old line, "We see you, Amandla," this time with the parliament burning in the background. The same line she used throughout the insurrection in July. Becky Cele, are you listening? I then saw the EFF celebrate the burning of parliament by blaming colonialism. My eyes rolled so far backwards, I thought I was going to see the back of my head, which is banging with a headache, by the way. Please tell me we will not be played and that you saw it too. And then the state capture report was released to the president. It was presented in a beautifully perfect bound book. May I ask why we went to the trouble at all of printing and binding the state capture report? For show, my fellow South Africans, for you and me to believe it actually means something. Like a bad Matrix sequel, the report will be released in 3 parts. We have received part 1. My copy is in PDF. I don't need cameras to read, see? And the balance will be delivered, I'm sure ceremoniously, in 2 more lavish events. Only then will the president act. Why? Well, if you think back, these reports are simply recommendations. Aha! You forgot that bit. Believe me, the ruling party didn't. Allow me to disappoint you even more. There are 1,438 people implicated in those reports. 1,438. We can't even get Ace or Ubaba behind bars, and now we have 1,500 more crooks to get through. And what did our president say? State capture must never ever happen again. What do you mean, Cupcake? You're still employing these gangsters. Oh, you know what? Forget it. Old Lang Syne. While we rehashed 3 years of state capture across media platforms, Ramaphosa was endorsed for his 2nd term and the ANC birthday celebrations kick off. Nothing here to see, folks. Forget it. Old Lang Syne. Bait Bridge became a horror movie as people died to get back into South Africa, and the spirit of Ubuntu, the one thing we never compromise on, was put aside, and the xenophobic narrative rose from the media streams. And then another bizarre and unreal story hit our screens. A man with a hammer took to Concord and started bashing windows. Look, to be fair, I can relate. Millions of rands and viewing time that I'll never get back amounted to a perfect bound book and nothing. Someone give me that hammer, I'll join him. The holidays came and went. We forgot about COVID and now we're all sick, me included. This time with flu from what I can work out. Whatever happened to flu, by the way? Yesterday, the beaches were shut in Durban for about an hour, and they probably thought we're going to have a mass uprising if we do that, because within hours they opened them again and let us swim in what smells suspiciously like effluent. There is some excellent news. Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty. Now we want to see the black book of clients, please. I hope she's on the suicide watch. We don't want her and Epstein to pair up again on that island. If ever there was a commercial to get vaxxed, it was Novak Djokovic's story. He wasn't allowed to play because he's unvaxxed. Now roll up your sleeves, everyone. There's no preferential treatment here. One last horrible story, and then I'll try to cheer you up. Putin and Biden are pushing war buttons, which makes it feel a little like 2020 when we opened with Trump's assassination of Suleiman and the nukes that were on the table. Let's breathe for now, okay? Here's my cheer up story. Sodwana has had a bumper season. The queues to get to the beach stretched almost 5 kilometers outside of the park. That's excellent news for this little town that's been scourged by COVID. The mantas are back too. I didn't see them, but there's a picture with a timestamp, so that's got to be proof. This weekend I'll get to the manta hunt. Enjoy your last few days, South Africa. Let's leave the noise of politics aside and get some work done. We have much to do in 2022. I'm Tonya Curry, and you've just scratched the surface with Acumen Media.